give you an idea of what you're going to be seeing, and then we'll jump into the different various interfaces and then flow back into a little bit of a summary of MeBeBot, and allow, if you have time and want to stay and ask some questions, you can at the end, or feel free to put some questions in the chat as well. So the first part of the process is that employees need a way to reach this digital front door. So we have MeBeBot as an app that installs seamlessly inside Slack, Teams, or as a web chat as well. This allows your employees that front door that they're looking for to get all the different types of questions they need answered from HR, payroll, benefits, facilities, IT. We look at the employee as a holistic individual, and why should they have to know who to ask what to? So if they go to MeBeBot, the digital front door, they're able to get those answers to the questions. Secondly, I'll show you how you can control the answers that the employees receive. So this is the ability to actually edit content on demand for employees, because that content changes rapidly. We saw how that worked within the pandemic. People were in office, now they're working home, now they're coming back. You know, benefits change, payroll policies and remote work policies change. How do you keep up that information to employees? We'll give you access to seeing how that is maintained and managed in a very easy, seamless way for non-technical business users. And then lastly, well, frankly, first, you'll actually see the data that MeBeBot generates, which is super important. I think our customers really love the data because they're able to see how MeBeBot delivers results, and they can quickly see how much time savings MeBeBot has provided their information, while they learn insightful information about their people and their needs. Because the whole goal, of course, is to how do we support and elevate the employee experience to make, frankly, work more meaningful. So let's go ahead and get started. All right, so first I'm going to show Slack, and I think there may have been a little chat going on about how many of you use Slack. But Slack is a collaboration tool that many of you may know of and use. And Slack has apps that you can install into the workplace. So MeBeBot is an app in Slack App Marketplace. We've been vetted by Slack. And frankly, we were the Brilliant Bot of the Month in May and June of last year by Slack app developers. So the first thing that we do is we know that employees live all across the globe. So as your company would onboard with MeBeBot, we would ask you, how many countries are your employees in? And we populate the system so that we can direct content that's very specific to an employee. So if I choose the US as my location, the next thing I'll be asked is if I'm a team member or a people manager, because this gives the ability to have specific information delivered to employees based on their role inside the company as well. So again, I can say I'm a team member. And as you can see, MeBeBot gives a bit of instructions, and that selection of both the country and the role is really just done the very first time the employee interacts with MeBeBot in Slack. And at that point in time, as an employee, I can frankly use MeBeBot on my cell phone. If I have Slack on my phone, I can talk into it, I can text in it, I can ask questions like, when I'm typing into the interface here, when do we get paid? A lot of people ask payroll questions all the time. It's very important to know when they're going to get paid. And so the ability to drive an answer to an employee that's specific to get them exactly what they need. Frankly, they're looking for, when do we get paid? When am I going to see that paycheck? So they get information about the payroll frequency, a little bit of information about direct deposit. They can see the pay dates, and frankly, they can click on a link that can go to a document that may be in your SharePoint, your Google Drive, that gives the whole company calendar. To have documents appear within as links as MeBeBot, there's no integration necessary. You simply add the the URL to the answer, and it's delivered to the employee. Very easy. But we know employees often have other related types of questions. So if they wanted to see additional information, perhaps they had an issue on their paycheck and they want to know what to do next, there's a way that they can actually follow down related topics to get more information to answers. They can get a particular individual's name that they may need to contact. If you have a department and a general inbox, you can surface that in the answer so that employees can get additional help when they need it. They can also rate the quality of the answer, or what's helpful or not, and see a little thank you message, which is nice. So that's an example of how MeBeBot works inside Slack. What I want to do is, I know there's probably some Teams users on here, and show everyone how MeBeBot works inside Teams. So again, the greeting would be to find out the country and the role the employee's in. The great thing about Microsoft Teams is the IT departments also can install MeBeBot in about 5 minutes into Microsoft Teams. We're also a vetted app in the Microsoft ecosystem. With MeBeBot in Teams, it can actually be pinned to the side toolbar wherever the company chooses to have it pinned. So it's always available to your employees. And again, we answer all different types of questions, whether it be benefits related. We could answer a question about how do I use the VPN, for example, and that way we can get an answer that's IT related. A lot of people, are using VPNs in this point in time, and so they're returned an answer that's giving them, information about virtual private network is what it stands for. Here's a link that's a knowledge article that will show you more information about how to use the VPN, and perhaps information about contacting people if you need help. Again, there's always related topics, and employees have the ability to rate an answer as helpful or not helpful, as I shared before. If they say not helpful, they have the ability to see what a potential escalation path can be. So it can be anything as simple as surfacing an email address for an inbox, or we can tie into ticketing systems if you have ticketing systems to actually produce a ticket. So that's a little bit of insights into the interface for the employee in Slack and Teams. And I know I'm going through things rather quickly. I want to also share with you how we have a web chat as well. Let me just move this little toolbar down. So we have a web chat that installs inside SharePoint pages. Many of our customers can have MeBeBot in multiple locations. And again, the overall goal is to make sure employees have MeBeBot when they have questions, wherever they may be looking for information, which at times may be SharePoint if you're using it for your company intranet. So the magic happens behind the scenes here with MeBeBot's admin portal. So this is what I know a lot of you who registered or enrolls from people operations, IT, various HR roles, even facilities. So as you're looking at MeBeBot, you all would have access to this portal so that you can log in at any point in time, and you can actually see, the types of data that MeBeBot is returning to your employees given different time frames. So again, this is our dashboard of usage information. I was just looking at information from last month. However, I can quickly toggle to last week. I can choose a date range. And what I can see is last week, we answered 292 questions. This particular instance has MeBeBot connected to both Slack or to Slack Teams and as a web chat, and that we have a net new person, a brand new employee using MeBeBot that has not used MeBeBot before. Additionally, we can see that we have on January 15th, 57 different people asked 62 questions. And that's what that data shows when I hover. It's great and fun to see all the different people asking questions across the globe. So you can see little snapshots of this information here. And the beauty of MeBeBot is that we are a holistic solution that answers questions for employees in all different types of categories. And you can see those results appear on our dashboard. So you can see the types of questions people asked about, for example, training related. If you wanted to go into some of the IT types of questions that people were asking about, you can hover and see the different specific, what we call intents or question answer pairs that they're asking about. Also at the top, you see you have the ability to export this data as a CSV file if you choose to use the data that way. So very helpful to have all this information in one place. So again, back to where the magic happens. So when employees have questions and you have a lot of answers, I'm sure you've built content, you have knowledge articles or FAQs internally. What MeBeBot is designed to do is allow you to launch a solution very quickly to your employees. And how we do it is this. We have a system we call placeholders. So right now I'm working in content that's US centric. So if I'm someone in owning subject matter expert to the US, I would simply come into the placeholder section and I'd fill out these different variables. So, hey, for those of you who are in the know, the IRS increased their amount for 401k this year. So it's as easy as updating the number here, and then it flows through all the answers to questions that are related to 401k and what you can contribute. Very simple to keep content up to date. You can also use this area to add in different links to documents that might be in other systems. And so first step is fill out the placeholder values that are specific to your business. And then you can kind of watch the magic happen and see all that information flow into the default answers that MeBeBot already has in our system. So I get that people have different questions at different companies, but I spent years in HR myself. And I can tell you that when I went from company A to B to C, they're all about the same types of questions, but what makes it different is your answer. And so we've provided you with these default answers that you simply come in and edit the answer to the question to reflect what your business need is, for example, or your business program is, or benefits. So for example, basic dental benefits. We can see that if you provided as a placeholder United Healthcare as who your dental insurance provider was, it automatically filled into our default answer. We can see that you have, a link to the carrier's website, a summary plan description link, etc. And this provider will change on January 23rd. Well, January 1st. So if you, want to add that in, if you want to remove that content, it's as simple as just making that edit there, hitting save, and now the answer is edited to your employees. So you as business users can edit, update, answer these questions at any time because this information changes dynamically. You may have also seen that things like benefits that change often, you have the ability to come in here and schedule an answer to go live in the future. So for all of our customers that were making changes to benefits, they can now do that within MeBeBot. And I just call it set it and forget it, because there's always lots of moving parts and pieces. A lot of these things change at the end of the year. Nobody wants to work on December 31st updating their benefits information. So you can get that done all in advance, right? So this is just showing you the plethora of content that MeBeBot has. We have content in a variety of category areas across the business. And what we also have, and I know there's some people that were interested in understanding, how do you manage content globally? Well, when an employee selects the country they're in, we again can populate any country that you may do business in our system, and it can all be managed in one simple view in global. So when I click on questions that are global, I can actually get a view into the types of questions that employees will receive based on where they live. So for example, benefits, let's take an example, a benefits summary, okay? I can click on this answer of benefits summary, and I can see that with people in multiple countries, they might have a different summary plan document. You can see that Canada's answer is different from Australia and US. And so this is the screen you would use to just simply manage the answers that the employee will receive no matter where they are across the globe. So it's really great to be able to manage the global answers all from one singular view. And we have a role we call the super admin, and those people are usually on top of what everyone is doing. However, you can have country-specific subject matter experts that can come into their individual country and also make the edits here, which will then appear still under that global view. So that's how easy it is to set up MeBeBot. Simply fill out placeholders, review the edited answers, save and launch, and you're ready to go. Now, to take MeBeBot one step further, we have the functionality of push messages, which allows you to have a whole new communication channel. And I know there's a person on the call, at least I know that it's very big into internal comms, and this is a huge area. How do you make sure employees are getting information that they actually receive and read? So being able to message them in Slack or Teams through MeBeBot is incredibly powerful. Many of our customers used it to send out messages about company reminders of meetings, viewing meetings later. A lot of our customers use this over open enrollment to alert people to due dates for benefits, etc. But it's as simple as choosing a date and time you want a push message to be sent. We can actually read Slack or Teams groups, distribution groups or channels. For example, if I were to go MeBeBot and I want to do, let's see, I'll just choose that test one. I now have a selected group that I want to send a message to. I can go to the next phase. We provided a bunch of sample templates that you can use that other customers love and use as well. Or you can provide a net new message on your own and create something custom. And again, the goal of push messaging is to be able to either upload a list, and you can also do that too, as a CSV file, use a current distribution list, and be able to send out targeted push messages to your employees. The other amazing feature is pulse surveys, because we don't only want to communicate, but we want to gather feedback from our people. We need to keep our finger on the pulse of how our employees are doing. And we do that through pulse surveys. So we have the ability to send out pulse surveys from MeBeBot very simply, like you did with the push messaging. Schedule them on a date and time, select a group, or upload a CSV file. And once those employees receive the pulse survey, dynamically, as they're responding to the survey, like I can choose this survey here, I can see the survey was sent out on November 14th to 13 people. 7 people responded and gave some feedback. And it was really driven to potential new managers who were asked to set up one-on-one meetings with their employees. And this is a way that we can follow up to see if that's happening. And so it's really great in the sense that we've had our customers report back to us that they have 70 to 80% participation on pulse surveys. So they're getting fabulous results from the pulse surveys. So all of this is part of why and how MeBeBot is unique and different, is that we not only automate answers to employee questions, but we're able to provide those answers to employees very quickly, giving you all the ability to get a solution out there that's accurate answers to employees. You have the ability to dynamically change the content at any time. You can leverage the push messaging and the pulse surveys to continue the adoption and engagement of employees of MeBeBot, and you'll be able to see all those results. You see the results on the dashboard. You get to see how many employees are asking questions. You get to get feedback from employees. You are able to see what their needs are so that you can more quickly identify and address them.